So the protein with novel properties can be obtained with the help of site mutations, site directed or site specific mutations, or random mutagenesis. Now we will try to understand what exactly is the site mutations or what exactly is the random mutagenesis. So first of all, we will understand the mutagenesis used for modifying proteins, that is replacement on protein level, which is also called as mutation on DNA level. So we have to make an assumption first, that is natural sequence can be modified to improve a certain function of protein, because before carrying out exactly the process of protein engineering, we have to make an assumption. That means the natural sequence can be modified to improve a certain function of a protein. Then this implies protein is not at an optimum for that function. Because if you want to carry out some modification, that means that you are not satisfied with the parent protein. That is why you are going to carry out some kind of modification into the present protein molecule. Second point, sequence changes without disruption of the structure. That means what? We do not have to disturb the structure of the protein. We have to do some slight modifications only. We need not to modify the structure to a larger extent. And if we do the structure modification to a larger extent, what will happen? That protein would not fold. And that this kind of protein, which is not going to fold, it will lose its functional ability. Next is new sequence is not too different from the native sequence. Otherwise, loss in function of protein. That means what I told you ki if you want to carry out modifications, those modifications should be small so that the functional ability or functional property of a protein should not be changed. Now, mutagenesis. Now, mutagenesis is also called as change in DNA sequence. Now, next is point mutations. Now, what is point mutations? So, point mutations are also called as directed mutagenesis. Now, what the exact meaning of point mutations or directed mutagenesis is, we can carry out mutations with the help of some kind of reactions like substitution, insertion, deletion, inversion, etc. Now, in following figure, we will try to understand what is the meaning of point mutations. So let's see this diagram first. So we have a normal protein structure here. The normal structure is like BEAST. Just imagine or consider these are the amino acids BEAST. These are the 5 amino acids attached and it have formed a protein called as BEAST. So this is a normal structure. But what if we carry out mutation? What will happen? So first case, substitution. Now what we have to do? We have to substitute B with F. Now it will become feast. Now it will become feast. So after altering one amino acid only, if we changed B to F, what will we will get? We will get feast. Secondly, insertion. What we are doing here, we have to just insert a new amino acid into the existing sequence. Now what we have done here, between B and E, we have inserted another amino acid, that is R. So the new word is breast. So it is different than beast, but we have carried out change here, like inserting another amino acid. In first case, we have substituted. We have not deleted, we have substituted the B amino acid with F. In second, we have inserted a new amino acid into the existing amino acid sequence. Let's see the third case, deletion. In deletion, what we have to do? We have to delete one of the amino acids from the sequence. So from the parent protein molecule BEAST, we can remove the A amino acid, and therefore the protein will become like BEST. And finally, in case of inversion, that means we have to change the position. That means the last two amino acids, that is S and T, we have to invert them. And after inverting it, the different kind of protein molecule is generated, which can be easily seen here, that is BEATS, bits. So these are called as point mutations. So in this way, we can carry out mutations. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is another diagram which is showing the type of mutations which we saw in previous slide. So these are some more detailed type of mutations. So wild type sequences, missense, nonsense, then frame shift by addition, frame shift by deletion. So these are the various types of mutations, just like we seen in the previous diagram. Okay, in the missense type of mutation, we have carried out the change of amino acid. In the nonsense type of mutation, we have carried out truncation of protein. In frame shift by addition, we have added the new amino acid into the existing sequence. And in deletion, we have deleted the amino acid sequence from the existing protein molecule. So in this way, we can carry out the point mutations. And there is a word which is called as silent mutations, and these silent mutations are also important. Why? Because the change in nucleotide sequence with no consequences for protein sequence. So sometimes we can carry out some mutations, and those mutations are so small that we could not recognize the change in the structure of a protein molecule. And that method is called as silent mutations. Okay, so as we discussed already, we have two types of uh, mutation approaches. So first is site-directed mutagenesis, and second is random mutagenesis. So first of all, what is site-directed mutagenesis? The point mutations in particular known area. For that, we should understand the protein structure. We should know the amino acid sequence of the present protein molecule. And what will happen if we carry out site-directed mutagenesis? The library of wild type and mutated DNA will be obtained. And it is not just a library, because we will get only two kind of different proteins. So this is not a library really, it is just that we are getting two different kind of protein molecules. But in case of random mutagenesis, what will happen? The point mutations in all areas within DNA of interest. That means we are going to carry out mutation at random. We don't know what will be the consequences, what new protein molecule is going to form, whether it will be stable or not stable, we don't know. But when we carry out the random mutagenesis, what will happen? The library of wild type and mutated DNA will be formed. And this is a real library. Why? Because we will get many variants. We will get 2, 3, 5, 10, or multiple variants. And these variants we have to screen for the optimum functional ability. For example, if we got 50 mutated types of protein, 50 mutated types of proteins, now we have to screen those proteins for one protein or two proteins having optimum functional ability. So in this way, we can carry out mutagenesis either site directed or at random. So first is rational protein design, that is site directed mutagenesis. Now, these are the basic requirements, that is we should have knowledge of sequence and preferable structure. Secondly, we should understand the mechanism, that is knowledge about structure function relationship, just like structure activity relationship which you study in the medicinal chemistry. And third point is identification of cofactors. Now, what is a cofactor? A cofactor is a non-protein chemical that assists a biochemical reaction. These are generally the metals, okay, which assist the enzymes in a chemical reaction, biochemical reaction. So these are the requirements which we should have before carrying out the site-directed mutagenesis. We should understand all this. Without this, we cannot carry out the site-directed mutagenesis. Again, these are the few questions which we should answer before carrying out site-directed mutagenesis. First question is, which amino acid should be mutated in the protein sequence? That means we have to understand first what will happen if we change the amino acid sequence at that particular point. Second question, what type of amino acid should replace the mutated amino acid in the sequence? That means if we have to change cysteine, then which amino acid we have to insert in place of cysteine? Then what is the rationale behind this replacement in the sequence? That means we should have our homework. That means what will happen if we do this? What will happen if we do that? So these are the questions, few questions which we should answer before carrying out the protein engineering with the help of site-directed mutagenesis. Next is directed evolution, which is also called as random mutagenesis. So it is based on the process of natural evolution. In this case, there is no structural information required because you are going to carry out the mutagenesis at random. Therefore, no structural information is required. Secondly, no understanding of the mechanism is also required. Now, what is the general procedure? First point, generation of genetic diversity. That means carry out random mutagenesis. Let the mutation work on its own. And then second point is very important, where we have to identify the successful variant. That means we have to screen and select the protein with optimum functional properties. Next is a good rational design requires certain level of understanding on the primary, secondary, and tertiary protein structures. In contrast, a rational design directed evolution does not require extensive information and geometry location of each residue within the 3D structure. And this approach, a mutagenized gene library, is constructed using techniques like DNA shuffling, error-prone PCR, and staggered extension process, etc. So these are the various methods to screen the mutated protein molecules.